and knows all the caddies and knows all the people and what have you.
Bob goes out with his notepad and he follows intently walking through the ropes, and he studies the game as it's being played. I've talked to him a couple times at tournaments, and he has a different take on the game. You're right about that.
All right, coming up next, we're going to talk a little Rays baseball with you. Roger Mooney, who covers the Rays for the Tampa Tribune, will join us, and we'll find out what he thinks about this Rays team, which 1-1 so far this season. Not sure what they play tonight. I'm not sure they do or not. Anyway, we'll find out next. All right, coming up next on Buddy Sports Page.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Happiness is you, because I'm happy that alone if you feel like that's what you want to do. Bring me down, can't nothing bring me down.
Hi, this is Tom Schmitz, the host of the Saturday Sports Page on WOCA. The Saturday Sports Page is your weekend destination for everything sports, from NASCAR to golf, baseball to boxing, and of course, the best, most comprehensive football coverage on the radio. Also, you don't want to miss my weekly "Are You Kidding Me?" rant. So join me, Austin Tapman, and Josh LaSalva every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. for the Saturday Sports Page on WOCA, The Source.
If you didn't catch Around the Water Cooler on Buddy's Sports Page this week, here's what you missed.
When you think of the top 5 golfers in the world, Roy McIlroy, Phil Mickelson, Graham McDowell, Luke Donald, Lee Westwood, and yes, even Tiger Woods are all names that come to mind. But according to Patrick Reed in his post-win interview after the WGC event this weekend, he's a top 5 golfer.
Not so much, but go ahead.
His resume is impressive.
That's awesome.
His resume is impressive. He's also the youngest player to ever win a WGC event. While you might not agree with Patrick Reed's statement about where he ranks, and I disagree with him as well, his bravado is refreshing on a tour that needs a little attitude right now. He may not be a top 5 yet, but his bravado to me is number 1, and his pedigree is really good too.
Around the Water Cooler, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5 o'clock on Buddy's Sports Page, right here on WOCA, The Source.
Getting a head start in learning to read is more important now than ever for our young children. The Reading Pals program of Marion County pairs up reading mentors with struggling kindergartners and helps them get up to speed in their most important years. But they need volunteers. If you'd like to be a Reading Pal, call Jan Hathaway at the United Way at 732-9696. That's 732-9696. Be a Reading Pal today.
Fox News Radio, I'm Jane Metzler. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court refusing to hear Jerry Sandusky's appeal. The former Penn State assistant football coach serving up to 60 years on 45 counts for sexually abusing young boys. GM's new CEO, Mary Barra, grilled by members of the Senate committee. Some stunned that after more than 3 decades at the company, she claimed she knew nothing about defects linked to deadly accidents. Jeff Locke with Fox Business Network.
Barra telling senators she doesn't know how many lawsuits have been filed or who was responsible for not recalling vehicles sooner. As California Senator Barbara Boxer put it, you don't seem to know anything about anything.
I am very disappointed, really, as a woman to woman.
U.S. markets ending higher. The Dow up 40, hitting an all-time high late in the session, then pulling back a bit at the close. The S&P up 5, ending at a new record close nearly 1891. Fox News, we report, you decide.
There's more to Fox News Radio than meets the ear. Go behind the headlines and join the conversation on the hottest stories of the day on the Fox News Radio Facebook page. Be a part of the Fox News Radio Facebook fan community. Post comments and tell us your opinions. See behind-the-scenes photos and videos and post your reactions to the stories that matter to you. Click the like button on Facebook and connect with breaking news and features like Fox in the Fast Lane, House Call for Help, and more. Go to Facebook.com/Fox News Radio.
Weeknights, we're busting out a brand new lineup. First, market fraud, government abuse, corruption. At 5, nothing's off limits on money with Melissa Francis. Then, from bloated bank fees to consumer scams. At 6, Jerry's exposing the issues impacting your wallet. Plus, get smart market insight and trusted analysis you won't find anywhere else. At 7, Lou Dobbs is all business. And the first and last name in business, Cavuto, shedding light on the biggest stories making headlines at 8. Only on the Fox Business Network.
Hi, this is Jody Saulnier. Jeff and I are the owners of J&J Jewelers in the Jasmine Plaza, which is located at the intersection of State Road 200 and Airport Road.
We're third-generation jewelers, voted Ocala's favorite jewelry store for the last 5 years.
We carry a wide selection of new and estate jewelry, bridal sets, and citizen watches. J&J Jewelers specialize in jewelry repair and custom-designed jewelry, including wedding sets.
All of our repairs are done on site and can even be done by appointment while you wait. J&J Jewelers is open Tuesday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 10 to 2, and closed on Sunday and Monday.
Stop by today or visit our website at jandjjewelersocala.com or call 352-401-0001. You will remember our custom design made for you by us at J&J Jewelers. Proud to be made in America.
Hi, Danny Warfel here. Get moving with Florida Credit Union's fast and easy loan approval process.
Let Florida Credit Union start up a new car loan for you today. No more waiting, hassles, or stop signs. You can even apply online. With a strong financial team behind you, you can enjoy great rates and fast approvals.
It's all about personalized service and a streamlined process.
Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
Ocala Radio, WOCA.
I know this song. This is not the kind of song that you could sing along to, but hey, little girl, maybe someday.
Tampa Bay Rays open with a victory. David Price on the mound. Unfortunately, lost the second game. Going at it again tonight for the second win and a sweep of this, not the sweep, but a two-game win in the series, and again against Toronto. And there in the press box will be, as he always is, Tampa Tribune baseball writer Roger Mooney, who joins us now on the program. Hey, Roger.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Been a while since I talked baseball. I can't even explain the two-game series. Yeah. Well, it was good news for David Price on the mound, and he looked really good in view of the fact what's happened to other good pitchers lately, last couple of days. And it pointed out by somebody that he wasn't even supposed to be on the mound. He wasn't even supposed to be there. And so that's a big bonus to have a guy like that on the mound opening day and having him around the season.
Oh, yeah. You know, he walked out of here last year, the day after they got eliminated, thinking he was walking out of the home clubhouse here for the last time. Fully expected to get traded. If you look at the way the Rays operate their business model, with going into this year with 2 years left before free agency, this was the time when they trade him. But they felt they had a team that was close to being a championship team last year and needed a few more pieces. And if they were able to keep David Price, they could. You know, they're in better positions to reach those goals. So, you know, they opened the checkbook a little bit, gave him the biggest single year contract that they've ever given, and then he comes out and pitches on opening day, looking a lot like he did the year he won the Cy Young Award.
You can only wish. Alex Cobb didn't have the outing people hoped for yesterday. Got touched up a little bit in the Rays 4-2 loss. But still, you talk about a rotation. I think the Rays and their bullpen now looks like if there's going to be a force in the league, in the American League, come September, the Rays have got an excellent chance to get there because of their pitching, don't they?
Yeah, you know, you can go back in this game for decades and decades, and I guess even a century, and every manager will talk about pitching. You know, if we got the pitching, we can win. And the Rays, when the new ownership took over, they decided the best way to do battle in the American League East is, you know, they know they won't have the money to bring in the offense to score like the Yankees and the Red Sox, but if they can prevent the runs, you know, it'd be a lot different. It could be a lot different. So this whole organization is built on run prevention, which is good pitching and good defense, but it starts with your pitching. And you know, when you got David Price as the leader of your staff, and then you got a guy like Alex Cobb, you're right. He wasn't a good night for him last night, but he's certainly much better than that. And then the potential of Matt Moore and Chris Archer and Jeremy Helton when he comes off the disabled list, but even Jake Odorizzi, who's replaced him now. You got guys who would probably on a lot of teams in the major league be pitching on their staff, and Cobb could be an opening day starter for some teams. So when you got that kind of pitching, you got to feel real good about your chances.
I hadn't thought of this till now. It's kind of like the anti-Moneyball. You're scoring the runs and not scoring the runs. If you keep them scoring the runs, you can still win, even against the Moneyball team. You mentioned Archer, who's a promising young pitcher. Got him tied up to a long-term contract, committed to him for a lot of money.
Yeah, they kind of do that every year. They give somebody a contract, and the whole thing is these guys will give up their arbitration years and maybe even a year or two of free agency for the comfort and the security of having money. And we talked to Chris today, and he's 25 years old. What kid doesn't want to have a $25 million contract that could become $43 million if they pick up the option years? But he said, you see Chapman get hit in the face with a line drive. 2 weeks ago, you see the guys on the Braves going down with Tommy John surgery, and you start thinking, you know what, nothing's guaranteed in this game, but this contract is, so I'm going to sign it.
I've got to ask you about my favorite player. He's my favorite player since he first stepped foot on the field. I was kind of intrigued by him, and he's not disappointed. Will Myers.
Yeah.
He is. He's the real deal, isn't he?
He has all the potential to be. He, came up last year. One of these rare kids that is completely unfazed with what's going on around them. Everybody couldn't wait. The fan base could not wait for him to get here last year because they felt he was the savior. And he shows up, and the offense starts doing a little bit better. And you realize this guy does. He's got that ability to perk up a major league offense. But needed to work on his defense. Could get a little better on the base running, and knew too that he had some holes that needed to get filled. And, worked on it in the off season. So that's kind of rare, too. You get a kid who comes up with all the bells and whistles but realizes that they shouldn't be ringing as loud as they are. So he's awfully fun to watch, and he's gotten himself off to a pretty good start this season.
I enjoy watching him at the bat. A couple of guys here on the staff are big baseball fans, particularly one is a big Rays fan. Our intern, Josh Salva, has a question for you.
All right, this is Josh. So the magic question, how many number of wins do the Rays need to get in order to reach the postseason? We've seen them win 90 games before and not reach the postseason, considering the AL East is arguably the hardest division in baseball.
Yeah, we're all kind of thinking that the magic number this year could be 93. It was 92 last year, so I think it'll probably be in the same area because, they're going to lose a lot of games in the division only because the division is so tough. So, it could be a situation where 90 wins will get a team from the American, that you can win the American League East with 90 wins, and only because everybody's taking the wins away from each other. But talking with the other writers and everything coming out of spring training, 93 seems to be the magic number.
We're speaking with Roger Mooney of the Tampa Tribune. Roger, Tom Schmitz here. In a game where it said players make the plays, managers just don't do much after the lineup card, it doesn't seem the case in Tampa Bay. How good is Joe Madden, and how important is he to the day-to-day operations of that baseball club?
He's hugely important because you're right. There's a lot of, some managers have that luxury. They run up the same 9 guys or 8 guys every day. 9 guys, I guess, is the DH. But he has to, their whole lineup is built on matchups. You have a lot of platoon guys, and it's not even the old Casey Stengel platoon where it's righty versus lefty, lefty versus righty. It's, you may be a lefty, but you're going to face this lefty because he doesn't get lefties out. They go inside the numbers. A lot of managers may have fought, the front office on when they want to do the sabermetric stuff. Joe embraces that, and he's got a good way of convincing his players that just because you're not in the starting lineup, that doesn't mean you're not going to affect the outcome of the game. And they see it because there's a lot of guys don't start, but they certainly finish games, and that keeps everybody on the bench involved, keeps them fresh. And he also doesn't run away from a guy if he's had a bad game. You'll still get in there the next day or the day after or whenever it's it's going to be your next turn to play. So the fact that he's got such an open communication with the guys in his clubhouse and his in-game management, and sometimes you roll your eyes. Even the players will roll their eyes at some of the moves he makes. But that when the game's over and they win, you kind of look back and go, man, what he did in the 7th inning was brilliant. I hate to use the word brilliant with a baseball, but you know what I'm saying? He pulls off this move. You're like, how did he see this? And ends up winning the game. And because he's had the success, these guys believe that every move he makes is going to be the right move. So it just kind of leads to production.
Roger Mooney, Tampa Tribune, covers baseball and major leagues. Roger, final question. Too early to say what the trends are because it's just game 3, but you got replay now. I understand Bruce Bochy had a little trouble with it opening his last night. How much will this replay impact? And doesn't it change kind of the antics of a manager who goes out there to argue? And if he's lost the replay, is he going to argue or what?
Yeah, well, you can't argue if they come back and say, no, the replay showed he was safe. It's kind of tough to argue against that. But they can still argue balls and strikes. They can still argue, I don't think you can't replay a balk. They can go out there and argue that. They could, if they really wanted to, argue the neighborhood play at second base with the, on the double play pivot there or something like that. There's plenty of ways these guys can go out and argue, but you might see a little bit less hat throwing than you have in the past. But there are ways managers can go out there and let the umpires know what they think about them. Usually, I think by and large, it's the balls and strike that probably produce the most arguments.
Yeah. It's a good thing Billy Martin and Earl Weaver are not around because their whole act would be spoiled. They wouldn't be able to do it.
They would have retired.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, thanks for being on the program. I'd like to catch up with you as the season progresses and let you kind of keep us. We have a few people who watch the Rays. I watch them occasionally, and after the Final Four, I'll be watching them more. So baseball season is upon us, although the game did open on the other side of the world, didn't it? Amazing.
Not a fan of that either.
Yeah, I'm not either, Roger. Roger Mooney from the Tampa Tribune. Appreciate it. Pictures. Talk to you again soon.
I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you.
All right, Josh, you got a little Rays fix there. You ought to be happy with that now.
Oh, yeah. I'll be happy with the win tonight. I'll be happy with it.
We had Bill Madden from the Daily News on here, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 months ago, and he says flatly that Joe Madden was the best manager in all of baseball.
Yeah, you're right. And he is.
We would be inclined to say that, but he operates in New York City, and it's coming from him probably mean a little bit more. So Tampa Bay Rays trying to get it done again. Going to have to get that new stadium, I think, before anything really happens, but we'll find out. All right, Austin, you got any headlines for us from the NBA at all?
Yes, last night we went off and I told you that the Nets were playing the Rockets in the Barclays Center. And beginning of the season, this Nets team was a really bad Nets team. They were coached obviously by first-year coach Jason Kidd. You didn't think they'd make the playoffs, but in the lowly Eastern Conference this year, Joe Johnson scored 32 last night, and the Nets made the playoffs, beat the Rockets, and interestingly enough, they make the playoffs. So they play tonight against the Knicks. They host the Knicks tonight.
And Jason Kidd, they threw under the bus.
Yes.
I think he wasn't capable of coaching the team. They made a terrible mistake.
Right.
The players didn't like it. And guess who's in the playoffs?
Right. And they won the Battle of New York. They obviously beating the Knicks. And in terms of a record, they have a 40-33 record. The Knicks have a 32-43 record.
Hard to tell how good that team would be. They still are pretty old, but who
Yes.
knows? I mean, so are the San Antonio Spurs, and they're tearing it up.
Right, 18-19 in a row. Best team in NBA right now.
Although that cast has changed just a little bit in San Antonio with Leonard and those guys.
Yes.
Apparently. I've not seen them play that much because they're on too late for me.
Right.
But
they play a boring brand of basketball.
They get it done.
Yes.
All right. I think we need to take a look at our what's on television tonight and remind folks of the time of the tip-off Saturday night for the Final Four. Florida, of course, playing in the early game against UConn. And any news out of there about those teams, it's going to be a huge weekend for everybody, including the people going at the Silver Springs International Film Festival. There will be a TV up there, I guarantee you, so people can see what's happening in the Florida game while the dinner is going on Saturday night. So we'll take a break. We'll return to Buddy Sports Page after this timeout on
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com, The Source.
You know what that anticipation feels like when you're about to open a gift? In a Box offers personalized gifts. Everything you'll need for that special occasion. In a Box. Holidays, birthdays, graduations, spa days, weddings, anniversaries, get-wells, and more. In a Box. Visit inaboxcelebrations.com and pick your theme. There's even a corporate option. In a Box creates the magic, and you'll be the rock star. Visit inaboxcelebrations.com. Partnered with Woodley Gardens.
You know, Austin, I'm sitting here at the computer looking at our Facebook page, and boy, we really need to tell more listeners about our Facebook page.
No, Tom, so you got it all wrong. Twitter is the new age.
What's a tweeter?
No, a Twitter, Tom. The voice of Ocala has a Twitter.
We do? Well, how do we tell our listeners about that?
All they have to do is get the Twitter app or go to twitter.com, type in Voice of Ocala in the search box, and click follow.
All right, well, what's the tweeter do?
The Voice of Ocala's Twitter page updates all of its followers on the latest news, guests, giveaways, and contests.
Oh, okay. But couldn't listeners just tune in weekdays from 3 to 6 to 1370 AM and 96.3 FM, or even go to online at WOCA.com? Wouldn't that be easier?
Yeah, okay, maybe.
Hi, this is Tom Schmitz, the host of the Saturday Sports Page on WOCA. The Saturday Sports Page is your weekend destination for everything sports, from NASCAR to golf, baseball to boxing, and of course, the best, most comprehensive football coverage on the radio. Also, you don't want to miss my weekly "Are You Kidding Me?" rant. So join me, Austin Tapman, and Josh LaSalva every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. for the Saturday Sports Page on WOCA, The Source.
What you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
The average adult takes only half of the recommended 10,000 steps a day we need to stay healthy. More than 1 out of 4 plastic surgery patients are recently divorced women, and 1 in 10 are newly single men. And their main reason for going under the knife is to improve their appearance and show their ex what they're missing. People who are watching their weight are more likely to pick foods that sound healthier, but health-wise, they're pretty much interchangeable.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Hey, you guys, this is Lou, and if you don't want to be a dirty little bird sitting on the curb eating dirty white wines, you better head on down to Dairy Queen Silver Springs. They got the best, the juiciest, tastiest char-grilled hot dogs, burgers, solid filet of fish and chicken, and 90% fat-free pulled pork barbecue. That's a little sweet and a little spicy. You know, Dairy Queen doesn't use processed and formed junk like the competition. So come on down to Dairy Queen Silver Springs, home of the real $5 lunch.
This is a public notice. Local residents can now save thousands of dollars on their next car, truck, or SUV. It's not a tent sale, because no tent is big enough to hold this many cars. It's OcalaForSale.com. Say goodbye to sticker shock. OcalaForSale.com has thousands of vehicles with no stickers at all. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge, undercutting, less proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
News Talk 1370 WOCA invites you to discover your full business potential. News Talk Radio is the perfect environment for your advertising. WOCA's News Talk format pinpoints information-hungry, better educated, high-income adults. So use us to talk to them. Call 732-8000. 732-8000. We're Ocala News Talk Radio. News Talk 1370 WOCA.
The sunset and the moonrise, not so far behind to give up.
Back on the Voice of Ocala Buddy Sports Page. Buddy, you ready for the Final Four?
I am really ready for the Final Four.
Florida takes on Connecticut Saturday. Yeah. Wisconsin takes on Kentucky Saturday. We all know that, but, I got some things about the Final Four you may not know, buddy.
Oh, wait a minute. You got nothing but the Final Four I don't know.
I got some things, probably.
Hey, I've been around the horn a few times.
Well, let's just see how much of this you know.
All right.
Florida's 30-game win streak could make history.
Yeah.
How about you ask? The Gators are the first team to enter the Final Four with a winning streak of 30-plus games since Duke in 1999.
Yeah.
Only 4 teams in history before Florida have entered the Final Four with that kind of win streak. Duke 99, UNLV 1990, Indiana State 79, and Indiana 1976. Indiana's the only one of that squad to actually win the national title.
I knew all that.
Yeah. Billy Donovan, do you think he's still pretty young as a head coach?
He is in coach years. He's not necessarily in terms of age as a young phenom like he was when he was 29. He's been there 20 years, so what do you expect?
Well, he's 48, trying to become the 6th coach in history to win 3 NCAA championships. And though 48 is still plenty young, it may not be as young as you think. He's 2 years older right now than Bobby Knight was when he won his final title at Indiana.
That's something I did not know.
How about that?
I did not know that. No, that's unusual.
This is the first time since 2006 there are no repeat Final Four teams from the year before.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought it happened. Final Four revenge hasn't been sweet. According to Elias, the last 4 Final Four rematches have all been won by the team that won the regular season meeting. That doesn't bode well for the University of Florida.
I want to know this. Are the Florida Gators finally going to put a complete game together where all parts are clicking?
If they do, they'll beat everybody.
Where Patrick Young is down low, he won't dominate Kaminsky, but let's say at least keep people from driving to the basket, rebounding some. If we can keep Prather from turning the ball over, if Scotty can make his threes, and if Frazier starts making his threes, and they get in transition and play that great defense all at one time. If they ever did that one time, it's like a golf game. You go out and play golf, and next when you go out and you can't hit your irons.
I can't put a 9 hole. I can put 9 holes together. I can't put 18.
But you say, okay, now that's going. I hit my irons today. I can't putt today.
Right, exactly.
And I go out and I can't drive the ball. It's always something missing. If the Florida Gators ever put together a complete game of all the weapons they got in play, honestly, they could beat Connecticut, UConn by 20. It could happen. But
two more strange facts.
Is it going to happen? Probably not.
2 more strange facts. This was the first senior class in Tom Izzo's 19 years at Michigan State that didn't make the Final Four. And finally, this is with Florida, Connecticut, Wisconsin, and Kentucky in the Final Four. It's the first time in 12 years that all are singularly named after states.
How about that little fact? That's the best one. That's the best one you've had so far. Yeah. So looking forward to hunkering down in the cockpit on Saturday night. Actually, I'll be watching the first half at home and heading out to the dinner. And looking to see, I think Florida's a little dinged up right now. Matter of fact, I'm sure they are. But this time of year, a lot of people get hurt. And, I'm a little worried about Scotty Wilbekin. You see him icing his thigh during the game.
Yeah.
He plays so hard and so reckless. He's been such an integral part of this team. And Austin, you know this, he plays on both sides of the ball extremely hard.
Right.
He didn't take a minute off.
Yeah.
So he either got the ball and he's trying to get it inside or shoot it.
And score now and
He's
then.
defending. Yeah. So, I want to thank our guests today, Bob Herrig, you heard from ESPN. Mark Henry was shared with us earlier, Roger Mooney from the Tampa Tribune, and Kate Main from Ocala I on behalf of our broadcast partner, Tom Schmitz, for Austin Statman, Tatman, and for Joshua Salver. I'm Buddy Martin. Have a wonderful night, everybody.
She grew up in an Indiana town, had a good-looking mom who never was around, but she grew up tall and